Cody Rhodes did not appear on AEW's Battle of the Belts event, where he was due to have an TNT title defense against former champion Sammy Guevara. Rhodes announced that he and his wife Brandy were in quarantine with family who tested positive for COVID. In lieu of the title match, AEW booked an interim TNT championship match where Sammy Guevara defeated Cody's brother, Dustin Rhodes. And, of course, get well soon to the Rhodes family. Sounds like everything is fine in that regard from everything we've heard, so I don't want to make light of it, but it's also not the most newsworthy thing here to me. It's this interim title.
And they announced on Dynamite last night that next week Cody will return with his TNT championship.
So this is what I wanted to get at. Usually, and you explained this to me during the course of the show over the years, in the course of MMA and boxing, what the interim title meant. It's that champion's gone for a while, so we have somebody else kind of hold the title, but it's understood that like when the champion comes back,
we're going to unify
figure out who
these
the real
belts.
champion is. But we can't have the champion gone for so long, but it feels wrong to just strip him of the title, so we do this interim championship.
Yeah,
but
typically
that's usually when they're going to be gone for a while, right? Not
well,
five fucking days.
So they got put in a little bit of a corner because the event that was going to be taking place on Saturday was Battle of the Belts, and unfortunately, due to either their,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
Battle of the Belts
unfortunately,
had to be a belt on the line. Okay.
had to have a belt, right? And so the interim thing made sense because again, Cody's the champion, but he can't
Or
do
you could
it
throw a
tonight.
different title on there. You had other titles not on the show.
Well,
If
not
somebody was
really
there,
though.
yeah.
Remember, no, because not really, because they did Hangman and Bryan Danielson, and then they did Jungle Boy
Go out there, Marcel.
and Luchasaurus as the tag champs.
Tag titles again. Do it again.
I mean, you could have, but who?
Yeah.
Who would have? Then you booked that. Who would you?
I don't know. Young Bucks. I don't know. Something, right? You just throw somebody in there.
Well, they tried. So
But
what
yeah.
they did is they.
But I get like
they
the
threw
interim title, like, okay, sure.
And they tried. Remember, out of the blue, the FTW championship was now a thing at Battle of the Belts. The argument that could be made is that the interim title is essentially an open challenge, right? If you're the champion, then you issue an open challenge, and that's where guys like Eddie Kingston and Warhorse and all these, people from outside the company or even from within inside the company come and challenge the champion for the title,
Hook.
right? We had Jay Lethal, all this stuff, Hook, all that stuff, right? However, if it's for the interim championship, then there is no champion, so it can't just be an open challenge. So then Dustin Rhodes doesn't make sense in that spot. That's then where the second, right? Because Sammy Guevara was the number one contender. The second ranked person would then get that match.
Exactly. It shouldn't be, I'm sending my brother to defend my honor. Like, he doesn't get to defend my title. This isn't the New Day with the tag team championship or whatever it is, right? Yeah, that one kind of bothered me because, again, we know this Dustin Rhodes is a credible athlete at his age, wrestler at his age.
And that was a fun match.
Can still put on better wrestling than a lot of the young athletic kids today. Even, and again, he's still athletic at his age, but it's just that no sense of believability in any regard when you pick that person. And I know, like, we all understand it's not real, but like, you can't act on the screen like it's real and then put me in a situation where I have to remind myself it's not real. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I lose it. I'm like, guys, this is not.
Well, you could have easily, on Wednesday night, we did Sammy Guevara versus Daniel Garcia. Why not just make Sammy Guevara versus Daniel Garcia for the interim championship when no one held that title? Then I don't know who's going to win, right? That's more intriguing. Daniel Garcia could easily win that.
So the number one ranked guy was Sammy Guevara. The next three ranked, we have a fatal four-way. Again, you may not have these people on site, right? When they get the news, getting somebody there, they may travel, maybe an issue. So that's the kind of stuff we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know that.
Good on them for doing something different, and it's something we're talking about.
Yeah, and what did you think about, before we get into more of the news stories, you mentioned Battle of the Belts. This was their first iteration. What did you think of a Saturday night special event on TNT?
I think Battle of the Belts needs to come more than an hour, if I'm being honest. You can only get 3 battles in.
Yeah.
At tops, and then they're quick, hour and a half, 2 maybe. I like the idea of one of these special nights. Everything's on the line. I kind of think you need to plan around them all being up for grabs whenever you do something titled of the belts or of the champions. Like, it's got to be them all.
That's what I think.
Every one of them needs to be on the line. All single fucking one of them.
If you take a step back, you got to say from a company standpoint, well, hey, this is our debut on TBS, so we've got to start it off with Hangman and Bryan Danielson. Okay, cool. But then as a scheduling you know that ahead of time. Like, you didn't know just last week that you were going to debut this week on TBS. You had some time to prepare, right? Push back Battle of the Belts. And then this coming Saturday is when Hangman takes on Lance Archer, right? And then we do have a 2-hour event where it's every single championship on the line. And the culmination is the main event of the heavyweight championship, Hangman versus, in this case, Lance Archer, right? Like, that's, I think, how you do it. Because to your point, 3 title matches, one's not even really a title, FTW, and it's an hour long, so you're not going to get this 60-minute Broadway.
So you did the interim championship. Some of us understand now that interim means when the champ comes back at some point, you're going to have a unification match. So maybe not right away, but at some point. Cody just beat Sammy for the title. Now Sammy's got this interim title. If they battle anytime in the next 2 months, I don't have any belief that they're just gonna be like, nah, back to Sammy, because you took it off Sammy because he wouldn't do anything with it anyway.
I don't know, but we could get some way that he wins, Cody that is, in a heelish fashion.
True.
It could be a fun story.
Could be.
And I'm excited for him to show up next week because, again, do we just go right into that? Or does someone say, like, I don't give a shit about that interim champion. I ain't no interim anything. I'm challenging you, Cody, tonight for that TNT championship. And then Sammy's like, well, what the hell? And then maybe we get a triple threat. And look at this. Look at us booking everything here. Come on now with it.
Hire us.